Hey everybody, I'm here today with my friend Cofield Hilburn from Meadow Creek Title, and he's going to explain to us today what title insurance is and why we need it and all of that good stuff. Couple of fun questions first.
Yes.
I have different ones.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good.
If you could live anywhere in the world, live, not visit, live. Where would, of course, besides Knoxville,
Okay.
where would you live?
I think if I could live anywhere in the world besides Knoxville, and this is going to sound wild, it would probably be Memphis.
Memphis.
Yeah, it would be Memphis. Yeah.
In the whole world, you would pick Memphis.
Yeah, because
Why?
family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my wife, she has, so my folks are here in Knoxville, so we've got two little girls, and raising them around family's awesome, huge. My sister's here, my best friend's here. But if it wasn't here, we had to go somewhere else. Wasn't Knoxville. My wife's family's from Memphis, and there's a bunch of them over there. So free babysitting, childcare.
Oh, there you go.
Also, I love my family.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what is one thing that you really, really love about Knoxville?
Oh, man. The food. The food. Love the food. The food's so good. It's taken me like 4 or 5 years to really get a grasp on all the joints, but yeah. I'm there now. I feel like I'm there. Or at
you
least,
have all your favorites.
Yes, and it's like there's enough diversity to really just not get tired of things.
Have you found a Cuban place?
No, it's different. It's different. There was a Cuban place in Maryville, and it closed. And I think it was actually in Alcoa, but it closed, and it was good. It was called Aroma Cafe. Really, 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 really good. It was impressively good for where it was. You were just driving down the road, and there's a random hole in the wall place.
Oh yeah, that's what it's supposed to
exactly,
be.
Exactly.
It's not supposed to be fancy.
Yeah, but in Miami, it's 12 hole in the wall places within a block. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, they call it Little Havana for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
but the food's good. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the food, and of course, I've never lived anywhere with more innate beauty than East Tennessee. I mean, it just my folks, they have a small cattle operation in Cott County, and driving out there, I mean, I'm just blown away every time that we drive by White Pine and Dandridge area, and even as we're coming close to the North Carolina border before we get off the exit, it's just you see these big looming mountains. It's awesome.
It is beautiful. Last one.
Yeah.
If you could have any superpower,
oh man,
what would be your superpower?
There's two ways to answer this. There's
you gotta pick one.
Philosophical,
a superpower.
Cool. Okay, so
like Marvel or
sick. Okay, I'm glad. I went to a networking thing, and they were like, "I would want the superpower to not be insecure."
No,
I'm like, stop. That's not what the question was.
Spider-Man, Superman, Wonder Woman. I'm gonna tell you mine. I'll tell you mine. Mine. I wish I could teleport.
That would be incredible.
Because I like to travel, but I like getting to the places. I don't like the actual travel.
I love the travel in between. That's my favorite part. Oh, that's
sitting
so
on
funny.
an airplane, cramped up. And,
man, I love the undisturbed 12 hours.
But I also just drove from Colorado to here in 2 days. So there's that. But what's yours?
Probably if I could duplicate myself, that would be crazy. Even just one time. If I could get two of me, I would be. Yeah, I feel like I would be a much better version of myself.
I don't know.
I could put other me to work while normal me is just not feeling it. And so sometimes things have to be done. You just don't want to do them, and that's when I could duplicate, and I could just veg out and then other me could do the thing that has to be done.
There you go. That works. All right, so let's get to business here.
Yes.
So you are a title insurance attorney.
Yes.
Okay. And a lot of people don't understand why they should even bother getting title insurance.
Yeah.
First tell me what got you into doing title insurance. What's your why about that? What appealed to you?
A lot of people in my generation look for work that brings them fulfillment and that just makes them gratified with what they do every day. And I've got a lot of friends, I went to an art school in high school, and so I've got friends who are film editors and artists and like all this really cool stuff. And so I think I had a little bit of that too. And I found title. And what was really cool about title was there was a trades element that I really appreciated, where you have this opportunity you're exploring the public records, you're trying to tell a story through the chain of title in any given property, and every single tract is different.
So it's kind of like history.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it absolutely is. And it's, you see some really wild stuff, and the operation of law and the way that it works with that, with secure transactions generally as it pertains to real property, it's just really cool. And so I've just always kind of a nerd, right? And so that's something that I've appreciated, and it's not just something that that we figured out how to relegate to machines yet. Mm-hmm. And so like you have to do that. So you have to run a title search, and that takes time. And sometimes you have to drive 2.5 hours to the county that the property is located in and pull out the books and go through the indexes.
Hopefully they still have everything.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully they still have everything. Hopefully. Yeah, sorry, to go back to it. I think that's like my why. Of course, I occupy this space of the real estate transaction that is very niche, but is incredibly important. It's the foundation of what the arrangement is, what the transaction is. You have someone who wants to buy and someone who wants to sell. Well, can the person who wants to sell? What is the person who's buying? What are they buying, right? Is that purchase, is that investment being protected?
Right.
And so that's kind of where we come into play.
So explain it to me like I'm in kindergarten.
Yeah. This is something I struggle with. Yeah.
What is title insurance? What are you insuring?
You are insuring the ownership interest of the buyer, and you're insuring the lender's interest, the collateral interest, that if there's a lender, that the lender has in the piece of real property. The 5th grade version of that is not too far off from that. You're ensuring that the person who is buying the land actually owns the land, free and clear of anything, of any defects, anything that would compromise, that would jeopardize that person's ownership.
No long lost auntie.
That's right.
Whatever shows up.
Yeah, undisclosed heirs. Authorized or other unauthorized. I guess it protects against unauthorized signers in the cases of LLCs or any other entities. Fraudulent conveyances.
So have you heard of anything like super crazy that's come up where title insurance has helped either the buyer or the seller?
Yeah. So I think that I think that title insurance is thought about maybe not in the best way. A lot of times you hear, because it's an insurance policy, you think about it like car insurance or health insurance, that it's this thing that like the value is aligned with the benefit that you recoup from being able to file a claim. Okay, that's certainly a benefit. It's still an insurance policy. It's an indemnity agreement. It's protecting you from any financial loss that you may incur through any claim against your ownership interest. But in my opinion, the real value that you get from purchasing a title insurance policy is aligning your interests in purchasing a piece of real property with the insurer's interest, or the title agent, us, right, in insuring your ownership in that land. And so what that means is the title insurance agent steps in and we perform a title search. And we identify what defects, what possible defects or issues need to be addressed before closing. And on every single one of our commitments, our requirements is what they're called, Schedule B1. It identifies everything that we got to do before we insure. I don't think that in the last 2 weeks there's been any file that I've had that I've typed up a commitment for that's been the same.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always just something that's going to make us more comfortable in insuring that deal. Whether it's making sure that the right people are signing documents, whether it's getting quick claim deeds from people because there's potential interests that are outstanding. There's always something that needs to be done that's a little bit different, that's going to make us feel more comfortable in insuring that transaction, and that's where the value really comes from. because you're putting yourself in a position as a buyer where you get to benefit from the work of the insured, or excuse me, the insurer, us, right? The people who are saying, yeah, we're gonna get in here, we're gonna get on that ship with you, and we're gonna take on that risk, right? And we're gonna stand in front of you and act as a meat shield in case anything happens, right? And that's valuable. But what's valuable is everything that we have to do to make ourselves comfortable to get to that point. Yeah. You know, saying, yeah, we're gonna step here and provide that coverage for you. Title insurance, you say, you know, the conversation is more like, hey, we want you to insure this transaction. We want you to insure this buyer's ownership interest in the piece of real property. So we take a look at it, and then we do things to mitigate that risk. There's nothing that a life insurance provider can do to mitigate risk. Right. They have no control over you. And so that's where I think a big distinction comes from with title insurance. There's a lot that we can do, you know, there's, and that's what we do for every single transaction, to mitigate and eliminate that risk and put ourselves in a position where we say, yeah, okay, now we can insure, we feel comfortable with what we've done. If there was a mistake, we've got it covered. Right.
So there's also what is owner's extended coverage.
Yes.
So that's not included in a standard title search or title policy. Right. It's an add-on. So what is that? What does that encompass?
So the standard policy, the meat and potatoes, is it protects you against matters that are recorded up to the time of the transaction, time of recording is really, the recording of the insured document. So let me break that up. In the instance of the owner's policy, the time of recording of the warranty deed that creates the interest that's being insured.
So like the day of closing.
That's right. Or sometimes it's a couple days after because of recording times, how long it takes to get to the registrar's office, how long it takes them to actually record it. And so that's where it's more of a retroactive policy. The extended policy is really cool because it provides you some coverage for things that come up afterwards, like adverse possession. And it pertains to some unrecorded matters as well. And it's about a 20% upcharge is what it costs. And so, you know, I think that if anyone's buying a piece of land, it's always worth thinking about it and always worth talking to your title insurance agent to see
or
if it's
anything.
Available.
I know I told you this before, but when we bought our house, we went ahead and got owner's extended coverage, didn't really think too much about it. And we were living there for about 10 years. And we got a letter in the mail from the IRS that, you know, putting a lien because of student loans that are
unpaid. So y'all had bought the extended coverage?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
And
okay,
so
cool.
I was like, wait a minute, I've never had any student loans. And so I called my title agent, and it was for the previous owner.
Interesting, okay.
The IRS had just caught up, or whoever. Sure. And she's like, don't worry, I got it.
That's so interesting.
Never had a problem, sold our house, never had an issue.
So I was speaking with one of my underwriters actually about the extended coverage, and he was telling me that so the standard policy protects, it ensures access, that you have legal access. But legal access is different from physical access. Legal access just means that the property abuts a public road or roadway or something. It means that there's the tract, actually you have a legal right to access it from a public road. It means you don't have to go over anyone else's land. Well, physical access is what avenue is actually being used to access the land. So you can have something that has legal access, but the physical access is different. So now if you have like a road, I should just do this with the camera. If you have like a road and then you have tract, both adjoin the public road, but tract A, the driveway, for whatever reason, maybe there's some woods or something, you know, that's separating the house and the roadway. The driveway goes over onto the neighbor's property. Well, something you'd want to have there to account for the road, or the tract one, the owners of tract one using the driveway that goes onto tract two's property is a driveway agreement. But I mean, if there's not one, well then, I mean, you got a problem. Right. It's not covered by that scenario would not be covered by the standard policy because there's legal access. Right. That's provided. That's not the problem. The problem is that the physical access to the house is on someone else's driveway. Extended coverage provides coverage in that instance.
Okay.
And there's things just like with other title insurance. I mean, it's if I was in a position where I would be insuring that, before I would insure, I would say, hey, this is a potential issue.
Right.
Let's get a driveway easement or agreement, maintenance agreement,
right.
So that it doesn't become an issue, so that we don't have a claim down the road.
Right.
And so it just it changes the way that you think about transactions a little bit. I say you, I mean us, the insurers, because we're insuring a little bit more.
Sure.
So there's more underwriting that we have to do.
Right.
So, which is good.
Yeah, it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, and that would come into play so often because, especially if there's a bigger tract of land and then the family sold off a portion of it. And so, but there was, like you say, there was still that access to the other portion.
Yeah, that's exactly when you see it. Yeah.
All kinds of properties.
And no one thinks about it. No one thinks twice about it, because
like, no, it's fine.
Yeah, it's like, because they're both owned. Right,
exactly.
Exactly. And sometimes, like, we had a transaction recently where, I pointed it out to the client and I said, this isn't going to be covered by your policy, but I wanted to let you know that it's here in case you wanted to approach the neighbors about addressing the issue. And he was like, well, how likely is it that it's going to come up? I'm like, it doesn't matter. The fact is that, there's an encroachment, and you're using your driveway's on their land, and like they could tell you to move the driveway, or just not use it, so.
They can put up a fence across.
Yeah. I mean, so it's just, you just got to know that those problems are there and there's ways to protect it. And I think that's like, at the end of the day, that's the best way to be thinking about title insurance is, you pretty much have two routes. You can hire an attorney and have the attorney run a title search for you. So analyze the risk and then perform curative work that mitigates the risk on your behalf. Or you buy a title insurance policy and they do everything for you, including the closing.
And including stuff that you don't even know might come up.
Yeah. So.
Well, and a lot of people don't understand, like, this is probably the largest purchase of most people's lives. And so, it's a teeny tiny amount to protect and guard your interest in that thing.
Yeah, especially, if you amortize it over the life of your ownership of the land, it's pretty insignificant. I think in most cases.
Yeah.
I know in all cases, actually. I'm like thinking about it. It's like, no, because even if you're buying, like several $1 million tract of land, the policy compared to all of your fees is relatively insignificant to your investment.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Everything.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I got caught in any
rabbit holes. You're passionate about it. I love seeing that. You're a history nerd, and I think it's awesome.
Good.
If you want to get a hold of Cofield, I will put his information down below. He's at Meadow Creek Title here on, what's the address here, Morel?
1312 Morel Road, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37919.
Just right off of North Shore. I think there's a Mexican restaurant over here.